It's time for us to meet our main guest of this segment. I'm so happy. Had a wonderful conversation with him. I can't wait to share it with you. Some 70 years ago, it's like story time. Some 70 years ago, a certain George Mbarika opened a printing press in then West Cameroon. And he was like, it's surprising that so many people don't know about him. When I met him, I was like, no, people have to get to know your story. He was like, okay, come over. Let me tell you all about it. And we recorded it. And here it is for your viewing pleasure. Get to meet him, get to understand his story, and most importantly, get inspired. Hi, George Mbarika. You're welcome to Cameroon Feeling.
Thank you very much, Patience. Yeah, my name, as I call, is George Mbarika, born in Zangtabi, and my parents, Mbarika Agwe, and as father, mother was Frida Ambum, all of late now. Yes. We grew up in the village and attended the vernacular school, which our language of study was Bali. And we did the study mostly the Holy Bible. And we studied the Holy Bible from Genesis to Revelation before we were mature to go to primary school, where we started the English lessons to learn.
Which school was that?
Basel Mission School in Bengui. That was the only school in Neta.
Yes.
We recruited children from Osheng, Ngunu, Batibur, Bali, all around there. Children came even from Ndo, Nkambe, because that was the school that had a standard 6
yes.
in those days. And so it was a big issue to be a schoolboy from Bengui. We took our first entrance to go to the primary, and from all these areas, happily I was the first from the whole of Momo. And Pa Estimuna took me up with his left hand by this. He said, this is that small man who is first in the whole of Momo division. I specialize in the printing profession. The Basel missionaries recruited me, trained me, brought me up, and I grew up as a professional printer in the industry. We started with the Basel Mission. The Basel Mission, at a time when the government was going to need people, I was sent to Lagos. I studied printing at the Monotype Corporation. That is where we did mechanical composition and did all the... We started coming into the modern printing systems.
Yes.
And from there I came, was recruited, worked with the government in Boya, and those things which I learned in Lagos helped us a lot, because in Boya we had to do printing for all government departments, all native administration, NA, what they call NA that time. That there were the councils, and of course with every other person we would serve. And we started that way. the Nigerian had to go back. The white men had to go back. But the printings for the government were solely done by the government press. And all the proceedings of the National Assembly, what we call West or Southern Cameroon House of Assembly, were done by us. And there were a few journalists that had to attend and report, and we did the proceedings of the assembly. So a few of all were now chosen from the government printing press and sent to Great Britain, where we did advanced studies in the printing industry. We do the printing administration side by side with the technical. So there it said that I specialize in the printing profession, technically, and also administratively did the printing administration.
Let's talk about you returning back to Cameroon and starting your own printing press. How challenging was that?
Oh, very challenging, because I took a few steps to prepare for that when I was in London, because when they sold any press, I would go there and buy the remnants.
Okay.
Those who had the money bought and took the substantive things that were important. The remnants I bought and kept, and by the time I came out, I had already everything that was necessary to start a printing press, and this is what I did. That's how I came up to start the first printing press in southern Cameroon, and perhaps don't know how it was over here, but I think that was one of the very first private presses that existed in the country.
Now, how did you start convincing people to print with you?
By going out to them. We had to go out to them, speak to people that we could do equally the same, because we had acquired the technique from the source. And so when they gave us things to do, they felt satisfied, so satisfied that there was no need of thinking to go to Nigeria, the nearest place that they could do this work, but confided in us to do whatever they wanted locally, and we did.
How was it called?
People satisfaction.
Yes, how was it called? The printing press?
Oh, the printing press at that time, we named it the Express Printers. Yeah, it was the Express Printer. We started there and ran it for a couple of years until when I was transferred to Yaoundé, before I brought the branch of it here, which was at Way Campus.
Okay.
Yeah, and we trained so many young men in that industry, and that was the contribution which I can boast of that I did for this nation, because wherever I go today, I'm meeting the fruits, getting the fruits of my labor, because everywhere where there's a printing press, there's somebody who will come out and say, oh, it was my master. Oh, since I started doing printing.
How many years
now? 70 years.
70 years.
Yes, since I started printing as a profession.
Yeah, you've watched that milieu evolve. What is your appraisal?
It's slowing down these days. I think printing has got a lot to do with industries. Where there are no industries, printing doesn't flourish. On the brighter side, in that new developments, you may not see so much of personnel, but new equipment, modern machines. One machine now can do the work of 20 or more people.
Yes.
So you do not see so many people in the floating around in the industry as the early days that many of the things were done by hand. Yeah, because modern machines are being installed. I think